Hello, everybody. Good to be with you as always. So I noticed that this teaching is growing, and as a result of that, there is a team that has grown along with it. So there's a team that helps me now, and the members of the team have let me know that I've been doing this a long time, and not everybody knows what I'm talking about when I refer to certain things. So hopefully Glenda's going to have a course in the language of the living method, and today, I just want to talk about what I mean when I say skillful means session, because we have a skillful means group awakening session coming in November. It's the first three weekends of November on Saturday only, on 4, 11, and 18, if you want to mark that. So November 4, 11, and 18. And on those 3 Saturdays, we're going to get together for 2 hours at a time. And what happens in a skillful means is that in the first session, actually, you just sit there. You just sit there and listen. And it really is, if you don't understand what I'm saying, don't worry about it, because I'm not talking to you. I'm there talking to me, and I will be getting it through that unit. I will hear myself. So, but in the first meeting, what we do is we get together and you listen. See, and a lot of times in satsang, it's question and answer, question and answer. So it is like that in the first skillful means session, except for the fact that I'm asking the questions and giving the answers. So it is a Fred dominant meeting, and which is okay. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. I think you'll enjoy it. And I think a whole lot of you will wake up in that session, because that's the whole point. It's not entertainment. It's to wake you up. And are you willing to give 2 hours of your precious divine attention to actually waking up through that unit? Because you can't wake up that unit because there's nobody home. I know it feels like it. I know it looks like it, but there's nobody really home. The only one home over there is me, awakeness. And I will hear me. So if you bring that unit to me, I will hear me through you, so to speak. There's no real you there, but I'll hear you through that body. And don't worry about if you're not following all of this exactly completely. It's overall, what you have to do is you have to come here and let it's not just language, it's the resonance of this teaching. You just have to let it just wash over you. For instance, you can walk into a satsang and you can immediately feel that something's changed, and it's like quiet and still, and everybody's ready, and it's a lot of it. There's an underpin of excitement. It's the best thing I do all week. So an awakening session, in that first session, I just talk to you, and it takes about 2 hours. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'll do it. And what I will do is I will just take you through. And we come to spirituality, and particularly non-duality, because we're already at the end of our ropes with everything else. It is the usual course of things. So we come to non-duality, and we're really, really hot for truth. We're really, really looking for truth. The problem is you can never find the truth. So it doesn't matter who the teacher is or what the teaching is, you'll never find the truth. What you will find out is what is false. If you hear anybody telling you the truth, just kind of, just bear with them. But what you're really going to find out is what isn't true. That's what the Skillful Means Awakening Series is all about, is because once you see what's not true, what's introduced to you, then awakening or awakeness will just show up, because there'll be nobody else there. It's hard, it's impossible to explain this. So you just have to trust me a little bit. But an example that I was reading in another teacher's book the other day was, like Copernicus came up and noticed that the world was the earth was revolving around the sun, instead of the common belief that the sun was revolving around the earth. So once Copernicus lit on this idea, and he could just look at it, he could see it, he could feel it. He never went back to thinking, well, this is just really weird. The earth, the sun is, the whole universe is revolving around the earth. How about that? He just never went there, because the truth had been seen. And once the truth had been genuinely seen, it was dropped. And it doesn't mean nobody ever had another thought about the earth moving around or the sun moving around the earth or anything like that. It just means that nobody ever got stuck in that position again, because that position could come up and then, oh, that's right. Yeah, the earth revolves around the sun. Now I got it. And so that same thing has to happen here. And the difference is that with Copernicus, he couldn't really tell anybody. So it's kind of, that is very much like this. You can't tell anybody this. But what happened was that Galileo came and had a way of showing everybody, he had it with his telescope and all that, so he could actually prove out Copernicus's theory. And what we're doing here is I'm Copernicus and you're Galileo. So I'm gonna express the truth as it can, the best as it can be expressed. What I'm really going to do is tell you what's not true over the course of 2 hours. And during that 2 hours, somewhere in there, most of the people in the room will wake up. I don't say that everybody does, because most of the time everybody doesn't. I have seen it where everybody did, but I don't know if I'll ever see that again. Who knows? I can't tell. But if history is any lesson, and this is Skillful Means number 10 that's coming up. So we wouldn't be doing number 10 if the first 9 had not been successful, and they have been. And really, there's a ton of people around me now who met me through Skillful Means, because it's an easy, no pressure way to come to know me and to know this teaching. And it's actually easier in a way to wake up with a group, simply because you're not on the spot. And for those of you who don't like to be on the spot, then you don't actually have to say anything in the first session. And actually in the first session, you're not allowed to say anything. So you get to just sit there and take it in. And I mean, the unit sits there and you take it in. And I'm not saying that the unit and you are the same thing, but the unit will be brought into cooperation. So you wake up in the first session, and then there's 2 more on the succeeding Saturdays, and those are clearing sessions. Awakening is both, well, it's not always this way, but it's usually this way, and especially through this teaching, it seems to very often be that way, in the sense that there may be some little event, like a key moment, like, oh, and then all the rest of it really is process. Now, it's not a process in time, although it will feel like it's experienced and that you're progressing within time, but that's just the illusion. There really is no time. And it's all whole thing, including Skillful Means and this video, are taking place really outside of time, because you can't help but be outside of time, because there isn't any. There is in relativity, I grant you that. You can look at your watch and look at the clock, and you can see, well, time has passed. But what's really happening is that things change, and when they do, we call that time. When I say things change, I'm talking about this. The one thing never changes. It never changes. It changes in appearance, but it actually never changes. And the changes in appearance because all of this is no more than appearances. And you will come to see that. And in the two clearing sessions, you'll get to ask any question you want. Absolutely nothing is held back, as long as it has to do with awakening. And if it has to do with awakening, then we'll go over it. I'll answer it, hopefully to your satisfaction. Usually it is. And very few people come out of Skillful Means sessions still scratching their head mightily. I mean, nobody comes there that is unmoved. I'll put it that way. Nobody comes who is unmoved, and most people will come to wake up. So we are having this. It is going to be in November 4, 11, and 18, those 3 Saturdays in a row. And I invite you to come find out for yourself what the Skillful Means Group Awakening sessions do for you. Series is the other word I was looking for. So come and join us and see what happens. Thanks. I'll see y'all all later. Bye-bye.